I'm sure the topic from the reporter's perspective, of course, is hitting on the road. Well, because it hasn't been good. And I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but not just this road trip, but going forward, can you spell out some of the things regarding approach and results that you would like to see improve, that have to improve, frankly?
I mean, you name it, and we have to improve on it. You know, our inability to hit the fastball, our chase numbers on off speed are very high percentage of swinging it off speed when we're on the road. I mean, we do that anyway. I think we get away with it a little bit at home because soft contact sometimes you get some payback when you're playing at Coors. You don't really get that kind of payback when you're on the road. You know, stringing good at bats together. I mean, you name it, it's been lacking. So we have the capability of doing it because we've done it in a few spots in some road games, but we can't continue to go through the lineup once, sometimes twice, where we've made no adjustments at the plate. And hopefully we can start it here in Miami and the rest of this trip. And we got to work cut out for us because we're facing some guys that got pretty good arms. But you know, I have confidence that we can make those adjustments. And you know, we're going to go out there and continue to teach and continue to try and get guys better and see where the results take us.
Both Bud Black and Bill Schmidt have mentioned, beyond the things that you just talked about, approach, et cetera, that a lot of these guys are still developing. They're still relatively young, particularly by baseball standards. And their contention is that, you know, if they get a few key hits, key situations away from Coors, it's maybe some of that weight, maybe some of that hesitation will be lift off their shoulders, and that'll get the ball rolling. Do you think that's true?
Oh, absolutely. Hitting is very contagious, and you know, we seem to feed off that. I think the times that we have scored, you know, we had the 14-run game in Arizona, we had an 8-run game in St. Louis. In both of those games, it was very contagious. We were able to string some hits together. Somebody gets a big hit, relieves some of the pressure off our offense, and then we start to roll with it a little bit. So there's no doubt that, you know, we're 1 or 2 key hits away in some of those games that if we do get those key hits, the outcome of the game is different. So sometimes you can put a lot of pressure on yourself. That's why we're trying to keep trying to teach, keep trying to make guys better, get them to understand what their individual issues are when we're on the road, and make the adjustments. And hopefully it's enough. It's got to be better. You know, we can't continue to flounder the way we have been offensively on the road, and we're going to keep working hard to try and get guys better.
And one more question from me, not to bring up a painful memory, but there was a game in St. Louis, I believe. You had runners on third, less than 2 outs 5 times. You had 5 Ks. And this is my opinion, and you would know better than I. It almost seemed like the guys were afraid to pull the trigger or something. I don't know if that's fair or accurate. But don't they have to put the ball in play in those kind of situations?
Well, I can assure you that whether it's a player or it's the coaches, we're not telling them to go up there and take strikes and strike out in those situations. So I think one of those at-bats, I believe it was 2 at-bats by Adams. I think you're talking about the game in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. You're correct.
Yeah. We had 5 at-bats. They all ended up in strikeouts. I think Flint had an at-bat earlier where he left the guy on third, and he chased a lot of bad pitches. And I think he went the other way and lost his aggressiveness and had some good pitches to hit and didn't even swing the bat. You know, those are the things we got to avoid, because I think we have we have to be the type of team that takes advantage of those situations. We just had a homestand where I think we had 8 at bats with runners at third, less than 2 outs, and we cashed in 7 times. You know, we have to do the same thing on the road. We can't continue to bypass those opportunities, and because it's hard to string together, 4 or 5, 6 hits in a row. So when you get those opportunities with the infield back, where they're giving you the RBI, you have to put the ball in play. And I think once we start to cash in on those opportunities, especially on the road, I think it'll give us some momentum to do some better things offensively.
Awesome. Hey, thank you. Thanks for your candor. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nick?
Yeah. Hey, Dave, not related to what you were just talking about, but otherwise, I know that you had identified over time that you kind of wanted the team to maybe tone down their hyper aggression at Coors Field as a way to tone it down on the road as well. Situationally, obviously, have you seen that in the past, not just this season, I guess, but also last season? Are they taking situational at bats better at all? It's hard to tell in the stats, to be honest.
Well, no, I think situationally this year, I think we've had periods of time where we were really good. I think the first month of the season, we were getting guys in from third at close to 70% clip. And I think over the last month, we've struggled in that category. I think, we've been better especially the last homestand, we were better. The road trip, we were not very good in that category. But I think for the most part, I think we've been okay moving runners with outs. We try and reward the guys. It's one of the categories that we're kind of playing a game with now, where, how often you're moving runners in situations and getting guys in from third and having a disciplined approach, hitting the fastball. Those are all things we're trying to get better at. And those are things that don't happen overnight, especially with a young team and with guys that don't have a lot of experience in the big leagues. So we're, like I said before, we're going to keep teaching, keep harping on this stuff, and eventually it's going to make them better hitters.
Yeah, and with a young team, is your focus or how you approach them is it a little bit different now, being that there's a lot less experience in the team, that like you kind of need to let them figure it out a little bit, or
no, I don't think I think it'd be malpractice to just kind of let them try and figure it out on their own. Obviously they need the experiences of at bats and being in the batter's box and trying to navigate through an at bat. And, that's something I can't be standing there next to them and whispering in their ear, hey, try this, try that, or look for this, look for that. But we try and prepare them as much as we can going into games, whether it's with the pitcher that's going to be attacking them that night, or whether it's something they're working on mechanically that, it's going to make hopefully work, help them work to having more success at the plate. So no, I mean, you never let guys just go. I think you've got to be hands-on, but you got to trust that what you're telling them or asking them to do in the game and in their approach, it's going to manifest itself in the game.
And then just as a matter, just for an example, I'm not trying to pick on Josh Fuentes, but just as an example, I'm always curious, what do you do with a type of player who, I mean, his identity is just is very aggressive in general. And it's just like, it's how it's worked for him. I mean, do you go at him like sternly, or do you sort of point out like what benefits he might see? Like, how do you approach somebody like that?
Well, I mean, I don't think you can go up to him and demand that he better as far as chasing pitches and all that. I think he's, he has his spurts of where he's got a pretty good approach up there and he swings at strikes. And I think his chase percentage this year has been better over years past. He's got 10 walks, which is an improvement. I think he won his first 80 at bats without a walk. So I think he's gotten better at times, but he does kind of fall into his old weaknesses where he goes up there swinging without really a plan, and I think he understands that, and he knows that, especially on the road, soft contact does not pay off as much on the road as at Coors, and I think he understands that, and he's trying to get better at it. I mean, he's a hard worker. He listens. He's trying to get better, and he has gotten better. And he's just got to continue to work, and we got to continue to provide the information to him and be there at his side to continue to help him get better.
Awesome. Thank you.